Hello, welcome to the Academic Competitive Exams quiz tutorial on a mobile device for Gurukul portal. So what you want to do first is grab your mobile device and navigate to gurukulportal.com from any web browser. Then, once you're there, scroll to the top and click on the 4 bars on the top right. Then go to the Quiz Me section. Then once we're there, we can see that Gurukul randomly assigns a quiz ID to store the actual quiz you create. And this will be randomly generated and it will be different every single time. And what we can do is actually retake an old quiz that we've done if we've logged into Gurukul and have a registered account. Now if we go down, we can see that we have various categories to fill in if we want to generate our quiz specifically for ourselves. So in this video, we're going to go over academic competitive exams. Then for the exam body, we can select which one we want, in this case SAT. Then the grade, we can select any, which is, let's suppose, grade 12. And we can also go in more detail about the subject and such, but in this case, we'll leave it blank. If we go down, the total number of questions we have, we can set as anything we want. In this case, we can do 7. And for the time, let's suppose we want 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, or even 5 hours if we want. But in this case, we'll just leave it at 3 minutes for this tutorial. So now we can select the question source, contributor, and difficulty level. However, to mimic an exam is going to have variations in difficulty and such. Thus, we can leave all those sections blank so Gurukul can randomize those. Then once you've filled in all the boxes we need, we can simply click on Quiz Me. Then we can see that the quiz was created successfully. Now, if we scroll down here, we can see that we have the question and the possible answers we have for the question. And if we scroll a bit past it, we can see the time wheel, which shows how much time has elapsed thus far. And if we go down, we can see that we have the total number of questions, in this case 7, the duration we have in total, which is 3 minutes, and how many questions we've answered thus far. So now if we go back up and we answer a question, we answer another question, and let's suppose we don't know the answer to this question. If we go down, we can see that so far we've answered 2 questions. And if we don't know the answer to this question and click next, then you can see that this 2 doesn't change. However, if we answer the question right after it, then it will update again to 3. And this will continue on for each of the questions. So if we select the answers for the questions, and once we arrive on the last question, you can see that the next button is grayed out. This is because there is no next question after the last question. So if we go down, we can see that the total questions is 7. However, the ones answered are 5. This is because Gurukul doesn't count the current question you're on as answered yet until you go to the next one. But that doesn't happen on the last question. So the total answered if you're on the last question and you answered all the ones previously should be 6. However, it's 5, which means that we did in fact skip or miss a question while we were attempting the quiz, which we did. Now, we can go back and change the answer by clicking the previous question over and over, or we can just submit it if we don't know the answer or we know that we skipped it on purpose. So we can click Submit Quiz, and as you can see, it will show us how many we got correct immediately and how many incorrect. In this case, we got none correct. So we can click OK, and then it will take us to essentially a panel where we can see the full breakdown of our quiz. Here we can have the sort of sections we inputted at the start, and then how many we got correct and how many marks we attained. The marks are assigned to each of the questions based on their difficulty level. So if a question is extremely difficult, it will have more marks associated with it than if it's a simple question. So now, if we scroll down, we can see that there's 2 things in the answers here that we can see. One is that one answer is bolded and another one has a correct text beside it. The bolded answer is the answer we answered while doing the quiz. However, the correct answer text will be shown on the answer that is correct. And let's suppose that we think that this question is a good question. We can like it or if it's a bad question, we can dislike it. However, let's suppose for this question, we have an issue with the actual answer. We can flag it and report the issue. So go this issue. And we can report it so that the Gurukul developers can go in and fix the question. And if we go to the top, we can see that we can create a new quiz by clicking Create New Quiz. Or beside here, we can click the Download button and download the questions as a PDF document. If we download them as a PDF document, we can see that it formats all the questions so that they can be printed out or answered without using essentially the Gurukul portal library. And if we go back, then we can also download them with the answers. In this case, it will show us the answers, and if it's not a straightforward explanation or it requires calculations, it will provide an explanation. And if we go back, so this is essentially the dashboard, and if we want to create another quiz, we can go to Create New Quiz, and it will take us back to the exact same menu we had before with a different quiz ID, which is randomly generated. Thank you.